Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the first day of May 2024. I hope you're all safe and healthy today, and that your families are safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are comforting people and saving lives. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those also that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings upon the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those who actually profit from these things. And double curses on the perverts that create the demand for these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, children, families, veterans, homeless in the United States of America. Millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night. The New York Knicks lost to the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 5 of the first round of the playoffs, 112-106 in overtime. Now, a lot of people will point to the critical plays down the stretch of the game that they claim to lose the game. But no, games appear to be lost in the final seconds. But really, there's a build-up to the final seconds. Last night, for example, and this is the thing about the NBA playoffs. In the playoffs, every team has a strategy, right? Things that they want to do to create a win for themselves. And what the goal is in winning the game, what you are doing is imposing your strategy or your will over the other team's strategy and their will. No team strategizes to lose a game. Everybody wants to win. So somebody is going to lose and somebody's strategy is going to fail. Let's case in point New York Knicks. What the Knicks want to do every game is out-rebound their opponent, especially on the offensive glass. Last night, the Philadelphia 76ers had 46 rebounds, 12 on the offensive glass. The New York Knicks had 40 rebounds and only 6 on the offensive glass. This is a problem. The New York Knicks want to play tight defense, especially guarding the paint as well as on the perimeter. Yesterday, the Philadelphia 76ers scored 15 baskets from three-point range, shooting 39%. The Knicks shot 28% and hit 10 of 36 three-pointers. So they didn't guard the perimeter the way they would have liked to. They didn't rebound the way they would have liked to. The free throw shooting, the Knicks had 24 free throws to only 19 for the Sixers. So that was relatively the same. Well, it was the rebounding, the perimeter defense that cost the Knicks. Now, the Knicks had 14 turnovers, a little too high. Sixers had 16. But it was a little too high for the Knicks in a playoff game, including, as we know, critical turnovers down the stretch. So, game 6 is next. And what I don't want to hear, and this is what makes me sick about some of y'all, I don't want to hear what Thibodeau should have done. I don't want to hear what the Knicks should have done. Game is over. They lost. Okay? Next game. Okay? Next game, same strategy. They have to contain Tyrese Maxey on the perimeter. Okay? They also have to guard Joel Embiid. They did a good job for most of the game guarding Joel Embiid. He was 7 of 19 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. He had 16 rebounds and 10 assists. Very nice, but they did limit him in terms of all of those big baskets he was hitting when he got 50 last week. But Tyrese Maxey was a different story. 17 of 30. 7 of 12. He had 7 three-pointers, 46 points. Again, we know that Jalen Brunson has made and established himself as a superstar in the league, an all-NBA player. So has Tyrese Maxey. Okay? He is, as Ian Begley described him, a blur. He really is. And so he's a handful. You have got to double him, and you have got to get the ball out of his hands at the close of games. It's got to happen. They did it when they last won in the last game. They did a good job in the last couple of games in trying to limit Maxey. But again, there's a counter move, and Philly setting picks, screens, throwing, all kind of plays to get him opportunities to be open, just like the Knicks do with Jalen Brunson, and Tyrese Maxey took full advantage of that. And so with all of that, the Knicks still had a chance to win the game at the end. Why? Because they're the better team. But in the playoffs, you cannot take anything for granted. So going into the next game, the Knicks must come back to their bread and butter. They got to rebound the basketball. They got to rebound the basketball on the offensive end particularly. Okay, last night before we had Hart with 17 boards, he had 9 last night, 0 offensive rebounds. 0 offensive rebounds. Okay, Hartenstein had only 7 boards and 2 offensive rebounds. Mitchell Robinson had 7 boards and 3 offensive rebounds. This is not going to get it done. This is not going to get it done. Okay, we need another concerted effort on the boards. And again, we give Philly credit. You have to give Philly credit. This didn't happen by accident. This didn't happen because the Knicks are being lazy. This happened because Philly was making sure it happened. Okay? So now the Knicks got to get back to their strength, back to their bread and butter. They got to get back on the boards. They got to contain Tyrese Maxey. And they have to basically continue to guard Joel Embiid. The good thing is that we have in Hartenstein and Robinson, now that the referees have gotten their mind together, 2 guys that can guard Joel Embiid. What we need now is defensive on the perimeter. Okay, that's why last night Deuce played 33 minutes. Okay, he's your best perimeter defender. There's nobody else close to Deuce, but he can't guard Maxey alone. You need team to guard a guy like that. And you got to force the ball out of his hand. Therefore, we're talking about Hart. We're talking about DiVincenzo. We're talking about OG. They've got to step up and guard the paint and guard Maxey in those situations. He's the key here. Now, the other guys are ancillary pieces, but they could beat you also, of course. But you have to guard Maxey. Okay, 46 points. You'll lose that game. Every time when he does stuff like that. So for this game, and this is what I'm very confident about the Knicks, they're a very resilient group of players. They've proven it all season long. They're a resilient group of players. They know how to learn from their past mistakes, look at the film, and come out focused for the next game. This I can guarantee they're going to do. But also, of course, Philadelphia is going to have something to say about that. Okay, so it's going to be a dogfight in Philly on Thursday night. There's no doubt. Tomorrow night is going to be a dogfight. And we're hoping our heroes come out on top. Again, I do believe, and I still believe, we have the better team. I did predict Knicks in 5. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Fine. Let's get the win. That's all we got to do right now. Get the win. Points in the paint. The Knicks continue to play strong in the paint. 40 to 38 points in the paint in favor of the Knicks. But again, it was close. And again, I believe it was close because the Knicks were not getting offensive rebounds. That's why offensive rebounds create more points, and especially points in the paint. Okay, Jalen Brunson had 40. Okay, great, he had 40. But look, if you're going to take 32 shots, you're going to get a lot of points. There's no doubt about that. So I mean, Jalen Brunson has spoiled us in a sense because we almost kind of expect that when he's taking that many shots that he's going to score those points. Fine. But the key thing about him scoring points, to me, aside from the obvious, is he gets in the paint. Now, he had 4 turnovers yesterday. That was, I think, tops on the team. And Anunoby had 4 turnovers. We can't have we're only playing 7 guys, right? And I know a number of you are going to get on my channel and tell me about Achua. Why didn't Achua play? Because he didn't play. Time to move on, okay? Now, the thing is, we can't have all those turnovers from our starting guys, though. We just can't. Like yesterday, the Knicks did a good job. They're going, somebody had a lot of turnovers. It was Embiid. He had 9 turnovers. That's good defense right there. So they got a formula for Embiid. We got to figure out something for Maxey, though. So, Oubre, Lowry didn't even score yesterday. Oubre, Lowry, Tobias. You're going to get, lockdown defense on those other guys. You got to continue that, but you got to come up with something for Maxey. Got to get the ball out of his hands. You got to, and they know, this is the thing again. You're talking about Tom Thibodeau. You're talking about New York Knicks. If any team in the NBA knows defense, it's these guys. So they lost this game. I'm expecting them to come back focused, to come back prepared, to come back ready and hungry Thursday night. It's going to be a dogfight because Philly, like I said, Philly ain't giving you nothing. You got to take it. This is the time right here. This coming up Thursday. Here's another one. This is the biggest game of the season for the New York Knicks. Biggest game of the season. They do not want to come back to Madison Square Garden for a game 7. So this is the biggest game of the season right here. Now, they were up 3-1 after Sunday with 3 games left. Okay? They just need to win 1 out of 3. So they lost this one. They got to win 1 out of the next 2. Hopefully they win 1. To me, the percentages are the Knicks ain't a choke team. They're not. They're a grind team. They're a tough team. They're a resilient team. So it looks good that they can win 1 of these next 2, but we don't even have to want to go to 2. We want to win this one here. Let's see how we can do this. They're going to strategize. Tibbs sitting down with the coaches. Everybody looking at film. Everybody's getting ready. Here we go. Y'all enjoy your Wednesday. Let's get ready for this game on Thursday. It's almost time for us to, let's get this thing done, okay? So